there's a chapter called "Anxiety: A Black Man's Superpower."
Yeah.
What explain that, Bakari Sellers?
In this book, I kind of came out and talked about my anxiety, and there are a great deal. My good friend Charlemagne, we talk about just mental health issues all the time, and mental health issues is particularly amongst African American men. For Black men, this is going to sound funny, like with me out here. Actually, your listeners can't see me unless they see me on CNN. I look like a young Stokely Carmichael or a young Teddy Pendergrass right now with all this hair on my face.
Yeah, you do, and you're struggling with it because you keep playing with it. Like I'm not, you're not
I
used
like
to
it.
having, you're not used to having it because you're messing with it because you're usually very clean shaven.
That's my intellectual play with it.
That's your
It
stroking
makes me
your beard to.
Yeah, it makes me feel brilliant. But most Black men, they think that the only people
Stirring up the wisdom.
that's right. That's it. That's the wisdom. Most Black men think that the only people we can talk to are our barbers. And I wanted people to feel confident and know that you can come out and talk about your issues and, seek therapy and make yourself better. Because if you're not physically, mentally, emotionally strong, then you can't, you're of no use. You can't go out here and deal with the trauma that it means to be a person of color in this country, and you can't lead. And so I just wanted people to know that, I have a beautiful family, an amazing wife, amazing children. I'm on CNN. I love practicing law. I have a great legal career, but I too have issues with anxiety, and it's okay. I use that fear, that irrational fear, I think is the definition of anxiety, but I use that fear to push me to make the most of every single moment of every single day.
Where do you go to get help? Like when did that happen? Because in our community, it is taboo almost to go seek help.
Well, yeah.
Especially
That's
a
what I
Black
tried
man.
to do. I tried to destroy a few taboos in this book. One, I talk about rural meaning Black folk, because in the media, when we say rural, what we mean, white folk. And when we say working class, what we mean, white folk. And then when we say urban, what we mean us, right? Yeah, no. I tried to throw that on his head and start talking about these issues. I am, one of the things I'm trying to do better around my home when you talk about anxiety is be more communicative with my partner, right? Which is hard. Most men, when we have issues, we don't really want to talk about them in the home. But I found that, one of my best therapists is my wife. Now, she may start snoring when I talk to her at night, but I feel better because at least I began the discussion. I think that's helpful. And then always having somebody that you can reach out to. I'm very blessed to have T.D. Jakes and Tyler Perry as people that I can lean on. I'm very blessed to have even Stephen Furtick recently as somebody I can reach out to and talk to. Because when you're watching this craziness, I made the mistake, and I don't want you to make the same mistake I did. I got on national TV, and I said that they killed George Floyd like a dog. And somebody pointed out to me that was wrong. And they said because if George Floyd was a dog, all 4 officers would have already been arrested. And so I with all these things going on with your heart breaking and, being Black is a perpetual state of grief in this country, I just you need those outlets, and you need to communicate so that you can go out and be the leader that this country and our people need.
What is leadership for you? Because when I first met you, I was so taken aback by how brilliant you are. Because you are. Bakari Sellers is very brilliant, really astute, very very adept politician. I know you were at the State House. You were doing that local politician thing, and I thought you would be perfect to run for the Senate, because South Carolina is represented right now by Tim Scott as a Black man, one of those seats. And so is that still on the horizon, or have you now, realized that? Yeah.
I want to run for Congress. Right now, though, I'm focused on helping Jamie Harrison, because I will tell you that Lindsey Graham is 10 times worse than Tim Scott.
Okay,
Tim
I agree
Scott
with that.
He at least speaks out on issues of race. That when Joe Biden made those asinine comments 10 days ago, it feels like it was last year. The world moves so fast now. Lindsey Graham had the audacity to come out and talk about race. And then when George Floyd got killed, man, he was as quiet as a church mouse pissing on cotton. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, let's keep that, as the kids say, let's keep that same energy. And
right.
So I'm helping out Jamie do whatever.
Sadie.
Yeah, hey Sadie. These people been praying for you, Sadie. They've been
Yes,
praying for you.
yes,
Yes, you.
yes. She
As you
is so
join the
beautiful.
conversation, she's doing so good. They both they get it. I don't know where they get this from. That they love the camera. I don't know. I guess if they mom, this their daddy. They get that from their daddy.
Here's you. I was gonna say you pretended, but your ass is on CNN. Oh, excuse, she can't hear me.
I know.
All right.
She's smiling at you though. Say, hey, Auntie Karen.
Hey.
So no, we just going live, just ruining the radio show today. We
Nah,
doing we doing what we want to do.
You
We having
cannot. This
fun.
is
This
a
is what you
family.
have to do. I mean,
This is how we do things.
It's so hard during this time. This is what you got to do. I mean, you got to find something and hope. You know, I put pictures up the other day, man. You got to hold on tight to your children. The conversations that we have to have with Black children are unlike any other conversations that people have in the entire country. But back to your point, I want to run for Congress one day soon. I'm happy to be here. And you asked me, I actually defined it in the book, and I hope people, pick it up and absorb it. Leadership for me is not having followers. I think that people, especially in our own community, have just bastardized the word leadership. They think that you have to get up there and have, a huge church with, 40,000 followers. That's not what leadership is. Leadership begets other leaders. I mean, for me, it's like I want to make sure that everybody in my circle is a leader in their own right. I don't want to be the only one when we go to Red Lobster. I don't want to have to pay for all the Ultimate Feast and the extra Cheddar Bay biscuits. I want everybody to be able to put their cards on the table. You know what I mean? And so,
why are we going to
that's
Red
what
Lobster though?
leadership
Can we go someplace else? Come on, Bakari.
Where you want to I'm not. First
Come
of all,
on, South Carolina.
you
They
come back
got
down
crab shops and come on now,
I'm
Charleston.
I'm taking you to Waffle House when you come back down here. That's where you go.
You know what? I thought we were friends. You in here trying to defile my eating habits.
If
Waffle
Karen
House.
don't want to go, we can go to Waffle House.
Hey, listen,
That's the one
Waffle
thing
House
that
is
they were protecting during the damn riots in Atlanta was the Waffle House.
You gotta your people make you mad sometimes, and then you gotta love them. They say we're gonna burn down everything but this Waffle House.
Waffle
Yes.
House.
Hilarious. All right, tell me about Black and Forgotten. Tell me the impetus for that chapter.
Man, look, I wanted people to know about working class Black folk. I wanted people to know about that dude who sits in the barbershop every day who ain't getting no haircut, but he's old, and he tells you about Sonny Liston, and he remembers when he was marching with King, and he gives you so much wisdom about the politics in the community. I wanted to talk about those church ladies who sit on the second row, who wear them big hats, who when you hug them, you smell like Chanel all day long, and they use 2 sticks of butter in their coconut and sweet potato pies. I wanted to give all of them a voice for far too long. I mean, they just haven't had one. And so, my father, he gave us a lesson that I wrote about. I said, he taught us that heroes walk among us. I don't want anybody, nobody in my family, nobody in my circle. And when you read this book, I think you'll raise your eyes. And you know this, Karen, for our history it doesn't begin and end with Martin, Malcolm, and Rosa. There's so many other individuals. I mean, Emmett Till, he just represents one of the many bodies that's at the bottom of the Mississippi. I think of Jimmy Lee Jackson. I think of Medgar Evers. I think of the 4 little girls in Birmingham. I give my 2 favorite. People ask me who are my 2 favorite politicians, and they're not even really politicians like in history. And I tell you that my 2 favorite politicians are Fannie Lou Hamer and Ella Baker. I mean, that's where I come from. Not only are they Black, but they're Black women. And so, I give people that perspective in my Vanishing Country. And it's just been an awesome process and a unique time to put out a book. And my heart is torn because I have something out there that people are reading and getting some sense of understanding. But I wish George Floyd and Ahmaud Arbery and Breonna Taylor were still alive. I wish we didn't have to live for them. But that is what we have to do with Black folk in America.
When I was talking with Greg Carr this weekend, Dr. Greg Carr from Howard, he was saying that justice for these people would be that they would get their lives restored. They can't get justice because that would require, a Lazarus rising from the dead, but we can make a difference so that the next person, and you made it very poignant. You said if we wait till November, there could be 6 more bodies. Those are human beings. Those are people's brothers, sisters, fathers, uncles, they're people. And I think that's what we're missing. Last time we were talking about, before we were even talking about George Floyd, we were talking about Amy Cooper, and Drew said, F that dog. No disrespect, but the dog is not more valuable than the life. And it's sad that we live in a world where people have more empathy for a dog. They came and got that dog in 24 hours from Amy Cooper, but we had to wait for Chauvin to get arrested. And Breonna Taylor.
I'm not following Drew down that path because Peter not blowing my phone up.
No, they not.
I will say this, that one of the things that I try to do is draw the historical context because Amy Cooper reminded me of Carolyn Bryant. And many people don't know that name, but she's the woman who said that Emmett Till whistled at her and got Emmett lynched. And then as she was trying to, get on her stairway to heaven, she said that it was all a lie and she made it up. And so I don't think that people understand. Or maybe I lied. They do understand the power of their privilege and their words. And I'm just glad that young Mr. Cooper, had the wherewithal to tape that interaction. That might have saved his life.
Yeah. Thank God he had the video. All right. So what's next for you?
Man, nothing right now is just trying to be a good husband, a good father. And I want this book to do well because it was so hard to get this opportunity. And I want others after me. If there wasn't a Nobody by Mark Lamont Hill, if there wasn't the other Westmore by Westmore, then I couldn't have written this book. And I want other people of color, other people from the South, other people from the rural, poor areas to have a chance to have their voices heard. And so I want this book to do well, to open doors for others. And, we're just plotting and planning.
It's already a bestseller, so it's doing well. It's got to keep doing well. I get it. Of course, I understand that.